Hi everyone, this is Kirsty. I wanted to start making a weekly kind of video or audio for you guys, kind of covering something from the monthly theme. So today I want to talk about how to assist your press to handstand. Now, those of you who have done any press to handstand work know that we work on eccentrics, okay, negatives, going from your handstand, lowering down through the press. I also like elevated press. So starting with your feet higher, pressing up from those positions. And anyone who's done the press classes will know I absolutely love isometrics. So building strength by holding in different positions. Okay, but another way that we can do some press work is to use assistance, right? And you can think about this like if you're doing, if you're doing weight training, right? You're doing a bicep curl, if you can't do the 25 pounds, right? You don't just say, well, I'll just do something else until I can do a 25 pound. You take a 10 pound, you take a 15 pound, right? You do lighter weights, right? So how do we lighten the load on the press to handstand or other body weight movements, right? And we can think about the pull up or chin up, right? We do assistance. People use bands, not my favorite strategy, but people also use their feet, right? So you can do foot assistance. You can also use a spotter, right? They can hold your feet, give you a little bit of assistance to get up. So how can we do this with a press to handstand? So it's kind of what I want to go through today. Okay, press to handstand, how do we use assistance? So we can do a leg assistance, which I think is the hardest one to do. It's difficult to really not use your legs when they're there, right? You just want to use them. The other one is using a band. And then the third one is a spotter. And I actually filmed that yesterday, so I will share that with you guys. So leg assistance, and I might have showed this one to some of you before. Essentially, you're setting up as if you're doing an elevated press. And then you're going to bend your legs so you get into a position that would be your position if your feet were lower, and assist slightly with your legs to get to that higher position. So it's a bit confusing, but let me kind of go through and show you a little bit what I mean. So if I was pressing from the floor, this is the position I would be in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep this position and put my feet up. So it's really the same position except my legs are now bent. And I'm going to try pushing down. So pushing, I'm using my legs as little as possible, pushing down with my arms, push, but my legs are assisting. Keep pushing and lower down. And if I want to really make sure I'm not using my feet, I can turn my toes under. So I'm in this position, push down, keep pushing. And I can tell you now that's a good workout. I'm really feeling that. So that's a great way. It's just I think it's a little hard not to use your legs when they're there. But I do think it's a great exercise. The next one we're going to do is a band, right? So I'm going to disappear at the top of the frame maybe. Okay, so we have a band. I'm going to move the chair. Okay, so what we're going to do, the band is going to help pull my hips up. So I'm going to take the band. How do I get into this? And I'm going to take it around like this. Okay, so we've got the band around my waist. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way of the microphone. So we've got the band around my waist, but if I'm here, it's kind of pulling me a little straight up. So I'm going to step back, get a little more stretch on the band, okay? And then I'm going to come up. Oh, the band lifts me up. I'm going to come down. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going all the way up here, because if I come up, right, you can see what happens. You start to fall over. So because the band is pulling you in that direction, when you start to take your legs all the way up, it wants to pull you over. So what you're just going to do is just get that float off the floor, go till your butt is up, and bring your feet back down. So I'll show a few more times. So you can start here, step back till you get a nice stretch on the band, press down into the floor, get a bit of lift, come down. So I really like that band assistant. The third way, as I said, is a spotter. The spotter, sorry, fix my microphone here. The spotter does exactly the same as the band does, right? The spotter stands behind you. You place your hands on the floor. The spotter stands behind you, holds your hips, just gives you a little bit of help. Now, the thing that happens typically when you're the spotter, you go to lift someone's hips and they start trying to get their feet up, right? So you need to remember when you're getting spotted that technique is still important, your sequencing is still important. So try to get your butt up first. Once your butt is right over your shoulders, then take your legs up. So don't forget the sequencing. Another thing you can do as a spotter to make it a little easier is push your knees into the person's shoulders. Okay, now this makes it maybe too easy for a lot of people, but if you push the knees into their shoulders, grab the hips, again, a little easier to get up. So those are the 3 ways that I like for assistance for the press to handstand. Give them a try. Hopefully this is helpful for some of you. The banded one, I don't usually like bands for many exercises, but this is a really great way to just get a feel for that float off the floor. So I really like this one.